First into one of the most unbelievable, twist-filled 25-year career arcs in modern entertainment. We are talking about the one and only Anne Hathaway. Her journey in Hollywood is an absolute masterclass in resilience. I mean, from her early rejections to dizzying heights, a sudden, really intense public backlash, and now a massive return, her story is packed with vital lessons on how to navigate the crazy ups and downs of a highly public life. Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty massive, almost poetic contradiction. Picture this. As a teenager, Anne Hathaway auditions for her high school's musical, and she gets rejected. The reason? They told her that her voice just wasn't strong enough. Ouch, right? Yet years later, that exact same girl would step in front of a movie camera, sing live in one continuous, unbroken take, and walk away with the ultimate acting prize, an Academy Award. So how exactly do you bridge a gap like that? Section 1. Breaking the princess mold. So, fun fact, growing up devoutly Catholic, Hathaway actually genuinely wanted to be a nun. But as her identity shifted toward acting, landing the lead role in the Princess Diaries at just 19 changed absolutely everything. I mean, the film was a smash, raking in a massive $165 million globally on just a $26 million budget. Literally overnight, she transformed from a theater reject into Disney royalty. But here's the thing, she absolutely refused to stay in that neat, predictable little box. Looking at her early trajectory, it's honestly a masterclass in calculated reinvention. After her 2001 breakout, instead of just chasing safe, family-friendly paychecks, she deliberately shattered her squeaky clean image. She took a huge commercial risk in 2005 with Brokeback Mountain. And you know what? That major pivot paved the way for her iconic turn in The Devil Wears Prada in 2006, followed by her first Oscar nomination in 2008 for the raw indie drama Rachel Getting Married. She proved to everyone that she had serious, undeniable range. $300 million. That's what The Devil Wears Prada pulled in worldwide, making it a defining, absolute touchstone of 2000s pop culture. But here is a wild piece of trivia for you. She almost didn't get the role of Andy Sachs. No way. The studio initially wanted someone, quote, more glamorous. She had to fight relentlessly to prove she could pull off that transformation from a frumpy assistant to a high-fashion editor. Well, she fought for it, and it paid off brilliantly. Section 2. The cost of an Oscar. Now, by 2012, Hathaway lands the role of Fantine in Les Misérables, which is beautifully poetic, by the way, because it's the exact same role her own mother once played on stage in the touring production. But bringing Fantine to life required some horrifying physical extremes for just a few minutes of screen time. She lost 25 pounds on a diet of, get this, just 2 thin squares of oatmeal paste a day. She actually shaved her head on camera in a totally unscripted moment of loss, and breaking completely from typical movie musical tradition, she sang her massive solo live on set. That is absolute, unyielding dedication to the craft. You might be wondering, why do it live instead of making it sound perfect in a recording studio? Director Tom Hooper actually summed it up perfectly. He said he wanted raw, imperfect, devastating honesty. And wow, did he get it. That live one-take recording of I Dreamed a Dream was revolutionary. It undeniably earned her the Best Supporting Actress Academy Award. And incredibly, that same year, she starred as Selena Kyle in the billion-dollar blockbuster The Dark Knight Rises. Pulling off an Oscar win and a billion-dollar blockbuster back-to-back, that's a feat very, very few actors in history have ever achieved. Section 3. Surviving the Hathaway hate backlash. So this is where our hero's journey takes a steep dive into a pretty dark valley. Hatred. It wasn't just a few mean comments on a random message board. It became a full-blown, recognized cultural phenomenon. Commentators ruthlessly picked apart her speeches, her smile, calling her try-hard or fake. This era of intense, entirely unwarranted scrutiny severely impacted her mental health. It got so bad she was forced to pull back from interviews and public appearances altogether just to survive it. It's a really stark reminder that even an Oscar cannot shield you from the fickle, harsh nature of public opinion. That intense period ushered in what we can affectionately call the quiet years, through the mid to late 2010s. Now, she didn't stop acting. She delivered fantastic performances in films like Interstellar and Ocean's 8, but she definitely wasn't chasing the headlines anymore. She focused heavily on steady work, marrying her husband Adam Schulman, and stepping into motherhood. She also bravely processed her grief in the public eye, openly sharing her experience with a miscarriage to help other women feel less alone in that specific kind of pain. She was quietly, but steadily rebuilding. Section 4. The massive 2026 comeback. and all that quiet rebuilding set the stage for an absolute resurrection. After stepping back entirely and releasing 0 movies in 2025, she has returned with a total vengeance. We're talking 5 major films in a single year. 5. We've got the A24 psychological drama Mother Mary, the highly anticipated The Devil Wears Prada 2, and The Odyssey, which is a massive IMAX epic marking her 3rd collaboration with Christopher Nolan, plus a sci-fi survival film and the thriller Verity. I mean, she is officially back on top.
Section 5. Surprising Fast Facts.
All right, before we wrap up today's explainer, let's hit a rapid-fire trivia blitz about Anne Hathaway that even her absolute biggest fans might not know. Did you know she actually turned down the lead role of Bella Swan in Twilight before Kristen Stewart was cast? Crazy, right? She's also nearly fluent in French. For Les Misérables, on top of that brutal diet, she actively dehydrated herself before the haircut scene just so her skin would look visibly sunken on camera. Also, she has a younger brother who's a professional dancer. She maintains a super low-key style off-screen despite playing fashion icon Andy Sachs. And yes, bringing it all full circle, a Princess Diaries 3 is officially in development. So from a rejected high school teenager to an Oscar winner to a survivor of intense public backlash, her journey is proof that weathering the storm and refusing to let others box you in is the absolute key to longevity. And honestly, the most interesting chapter of her story is happening right now. So I've got to ask you, which role defined her career for you? Was it the fashion-forward Andy Sachs, the tragic Fantine, or Mia Thermopolis, the princess who started the whole shebang? Let me know. Take these incredible lessons of resilience into your own life, and I'll see you in the next explainer.